No matter where you live in America, what's happening within Arizona's political landscape should really worry you about your security, and we need to talk about it. Arizona Democrat Governor Katie Hobbs recently vetoed SB 1109 this week, and unfortunately, this marked a pivotal moment in the bill's fate. Now, this is a major red flag issue in America. With the quickness, I need you to understand the beginnings. In early 2025, Arizona's political landscape was growing with unease about foreign influence from the CCP. See, there's reports of Chinese entities attempting to lease property near Luke Air Force Base, which is a key F-35 pilot training facility. This quickly fueled the fears of espionage and sabotage from a handful of the politicians in Arizona. Senate Majority Leader Shamp, a Republican from Surprise, Arizona, introduced Senate Bill 1109 to address these concerns. Now, the bill aimed to prohibit the People's Republic of China, including its state-owned enterprises, from holding a substantial interest, 30% or more, in Arizona property, particularly near military bases and nuclear plants like Palo Verde and critical infrastructure such as Taiwan Semiconductor's facilities. Shamp framed SB 1109 as a common sense measure to protect Arizona's military, commercial, and agriculture assets from foreign threats, citing national security. Now, this wasn't a lone effort of Arizona. You can see across America there has been a wave of similar legislation which has been gaining traction. By July of 2024, at least 22 states had enacted laws regulating foreign ownership of real estate driven by concerns over Chinese land purchases near military bases. For example, if you look back in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis signed SB 264 in May of 2023, banning Chinese citizens and CCP-affiliated entities from purchasing farmland or land within 10 miles of military installations. I mean, even in Arkansas and Alabama, we saw federal level advocacy from Senators Cotton, Tuberville, and Britt for bills like Securing America's Land from Foreign Interference Act, signaling state level alignment with restricting CCP land ownership. Now back to Arizona, SB 1109 began its journey with a broad scope, initially targeting governments, officials, and businesses from enemy countries like China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran, and even non-resident citizens of those nations, with limited exceptions for small residential plots far from military bases. However, concerns about constitutionality and potential discrimination raised by figures like Representative Culloden, who's a Republican out of Scottsdale, led to amendments. Now, down the line on May 6, 2025, the bill was narrowed to focus solely on the Chinese government and its subsidiaries, addressing fears of overreach while maintaining its national security intent. The amended bill did gain traction, and on the next day, the Arizona House passed SB 1109 with a 41-17 vote, notably including support from 8 Democrats, which is a rare thing to see with bipartisan cooperation in that state. This suggested that some Democrats were persuaded by the national security argument, particularly given allegations of Chinese attempts to lease property near Luke Air Force Base. The Senate followed on May 28th with a 17-11 party line vote, reflecting stronger Republican unity but a lack of Democratic support in the upper chamber. The bill's passage through both chambers signaled a growing consensus that CCP land ownership posed a credible threat, aligning Arizona with 22 states already enacting similar restrictions and the 27 others considering them. So moving forward, you'd think it'd be all good, but on June 2nd, 2025, SB 1109 landed on the desk of Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs, who had already vetoed 138 bills in the year of 2025, earning her the moniker Veto Queen. The bill's supporters, including Shamp and Michael Luigi of State Armor Action, urged its approval, emphasizing the risk of CCP proximity to critical assets. Luigi warned that proximity produces peril, citing Ukraine's drone attacks on Russian assets as a lesson in warfare risks. The bill's bipartisan House vote and its alignment with national trends evidenced by states like Florida and Texas gave hope that Hobbs might actually sign it. Especially when you look at the Federal Committee on the Foreign Investment in the United States, they're already scrutinizing such purchases, but lacking state-level enforcement. Unfortunately, in Arizona, it seems that things don't work out even if there is bipartisan support. Governor Hobbs vetoed SB 1109, igniting fierce criticism. In her veto letter, she argued that the bill was ineffective at counter-espionage, failed to directly protect military assets. She also noted a loophole allowing the CCP to own land for 3 years under certain conditions, a point critics like her spokesman, Christian Slater, emphasized, claiming it could enable CCP proxies to acquire land near sensitive sites. Now look, this veto stunned supporters. Shamp called it politically motivated and utterly insane, accusing Hobbs of endangering national security. Representative Culloden, who initially criticized the bill, found the veto inexplicable, arguing the amended version was clear. If the PRC was on the title, it violated the law. Luigi accused Hobbs of hanging an "Open for the CCP" sign on Arizona's front doorstep. And this is something that you saw across conservative media and many Americans online that started to speculate Hobbs's motives, some even aligning corruption without evidence. But I will admit, some did step up and defended Hobbs. An opinion piece in Arizona Republic argued the bill was a do-nothing measure, weakened by amendments, and unlikely to stop CCP proxies, aligning with Hobbs's view that it didn't adequately address espionage risks. Now, this perspective highlighted a divide. While Republicans saw the bill as a critical state-level safeguard, Hobbs and some Democrats viewed it as flawed and potentially discriminatory, echoing concerns from states like Florida, where similar laws face legal challenges for targeting Chinese nationals broadly. So what's next in all this aftermath? The veto left SB 1109's fate uncertain, and Arizona's legislature could attempt to override it with a 2/3 vote in both chambers, but that's kind of unlikely when you look at the Senate's last vote of 1711. It will probably have inefficient support given the Republicans have a slim majority. Now, the controversy has fueled political rhetoric with Republicans like Shamp and Karen Taylor Robson, who's a gubernatorial candidate, branding Hobbs as Commie Katie. Nationally, the issue remains alive with 27 states debating similar bills and Congress considering federal measures like the No American Land for Communist China Act, which is S715. Arizona's veto is a setback, but not really the end. So, what do you think is going to happen? And is this an issue that you're concerned about? Because you should be.